Hey guys, a new patch dropped today, the first patch since the servers were merged, I believe, and there is quite a bit to go over. It has gone into the game, so we can see some of the changes, but very quickly, just for a bit of fun, I'm going to do some summons as it is a 2x weekend, and hopefully I can get more, or Allura, I believe, one of the newer heroes that have come out recently.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
That is the end of my mini summoning session. Let's move on to discussing these patch notes, because there is a fair number of changes going into this. So this happened overnight. It hit this very morning. The update was added. We get 100 diamonds to your mail, and they've done some changes to the Void Rift. They've added 5 new levels to each difficulty, and it says that the pre-existing 5 and the new stages will be available in turn. And they've added a petrification mechanic where enemies become rendered immobile and they do not attack. However, their resistances such as defense and magic resist will be massively increased, and they will begin to gradually regenerate their health. And only after they've recovered a significant amount of HP will the petrification be lifted, and it says that some monsters can benefit from this multiple times. Actually, kind of what I was hoping for. I was thinking about this the other day. It feels like the Void Rift is kind of their answer to some kind of tower system, you know, it resets and you've got to clear the floors. The Void Rift feels like that, but the problem is it's so stagnant at the moment you do the same things. However, if they keep adding new levels and new stages to the Void Rift, then it will actually be quite a good version of like a tower system where, you know, rolling levels that change. So I think this is cool. I like this change a lot. It's nice that they're adding more variety to these stages. They've also added random blessings on all stages for Nightmare and Hard, and you can now preview artifacts that can be obtained from the corresponding stages. And you can use auto fights in specific stages, and teams will be saved for respective phases. That means you can just auto through some of the stages that you've already completed before. That's really good. It's something I've wanted for a while. After I beat it for the first few weeks, I thought it's going to be kind of tiring trying to remember how to, you know, set up each team and do all these different things. As for adjustments, they've made it so you unlock Nightmare difficulty a bit earlier. Previously, you had to clear stage 4 in chapter 9, and now it is stage 14 in chapter 8. I don't know if I agree with that, mainly because Nightmare is going to absolutely annihilate a massive portion of players. Nightmare is pretty hard, especially if you're not very late. If you can't clear the early stages of the campaign, I don't think you have a very good shot at Nightmare. I feel like you're going to waste your week. If you just about scraped the normal mode, the final boss of the chapter, then Nightmare is going to absolutely obliterate you in Void Rift. Maybe when you finish the entire campaign, go for the Void Rift Nightmare mode, but before then I think you might have a lot of difficulty. But again, if your experience is otherwise, do let me know. It's been a long time since I first cleared the campaign, so my understanding could be way off. They've also optimized skills and stage mechanisms. That could be anything, so it's hard to know. And the monster movement shown on the Void Rift map. Okay, that seems interesting. Before we move on to the hero adjustments, let's go to the Void Rift and see if we can spot anything new there. We can take a look at the exclusive mythics, but I'll leave that for a separate video as it actually is quite a bit to go through. So if I go straight through to the Nightmare difficulty, I tend to leave it for Saturday, Sunday because I'm kind of lazy. Let's see if this has changed, if it's rotated to the new week. So immediately there is a blessing. All attributes of the cursed cult faction members increase by 30%. So this is a very powerful bonus, and this I think is random. So that's really quite good, especially for me. I use Vienna basically everywhere, and I started to use Cerberus quite a bit. This appears to be the same stage as before, and I don't think there's any petrification effects. So if there is another stage, it hasn't cycled in for me just yet. And let's check here. Again, this is another one that I've done before. So yeah, I haven't got the new stages here yet, but we can see that I've got this new attribute bonus, this kind of blessing that they call it. But I can't see much more beyond that. If there are new stages, I'll make another video playing through the new stages. And you can see they didn't backdate the auto fights, unfortunately, so you're going to have to figure them all out again. So that's it. Back to the update announcement. We'll move on to hero adjustments. So the legendary hero Azhor, who is a defender for the Nightmare faction, previously a limited shard event hero, but he has been added to the main summon pool. He has had his skills revamped. So it doesn't look like they say the before and after, and I don't remember exactly how all of his skills work. His basic attack deals 100 by base and up to 120 with skill ups. His ultimate talent deals damage that scales off of his defense, and after landing 10 attacks, his hammer enters a heated state. When heated, he has a 30% chance to stun for 1 second. Master Craftsman, his first passive. Each attack increases his defense by up to 10 stacks. And gains defense and damage when he's in the heated state. Okay, and Fortifying Sparks, while the ultimate is active, every strike will apply 1 random buff to an ally in range, based on the current status of the hammer, if it's heated or if it's normal. If it's normal, it is a shield equal to 120% of the hero's defense. So it's of the target hero's defense, not of Azhor's defense, I think. It would be better if it was his defense, right? He's a defender. And heated state applies both the normal state buff, so apply a shield and a 10 to 20% damage increase as well. So I think that is a bit better. I can't remember exactly how he worked before. It'd be cool if they had a before and after in these revamps, because I just don't remember exactly how he works. This is probably better. The reason Azhor has never really been popular is because he's not crazy tanky, right? He doesn't have any like invulnerability windows where like Baron or Regulus do. He doesn't have any massive damage mitigation or shielding like someone like Oleg or Garn. King Haas, Toreador has a revive. He doesn't have massive damage or like really big CC capabilities like someone like Captain Reeve or even Garn. Garn can do some pretty good damage output and also be very tanky. Azhor applies some buffs at random. He has to be hitting a target to actually do any of this stuff, bear in mind. I don't think this really fixes Azhor. If you're lacking, you don't have many defenders, then he's okay. He's not like he's pants. He does have a legendary defender's stats, but his toolkit relies on him hitting enemies to do anything, and that's not really what you want from a defender, especially if the things he's applying are kind of random chance to stun, random buffs. I don't know, it doesn't seem ideal to me because it's not reliable, and he's not a really good defender by himself. I could be wrong. If you do test him, let me know, but I don't think it's much change. Next up, we have the least popular epic in the game, Cyclone. He's been added to the Esoteric Order, the Esoteria Order. So he finally has a faction now, and his basic attack is same as before, 100% damage. It scales up to 110% with skill ups. He now has a talent giving him 20% dodge, which is interesting. It's unreliable. It doesn't scale, but it's interesting. He knocks back blocked enemies with his ultimate with 2 times strength, dealing 140 to 200% damage and stunning them for 1.5 to 2 seconds. 2 second stun is pretty good, and the damage might be okay. I think Cyclone actually has high base attack, and he has another passive after his 20% chance to dodge. The next attack deals up to 200% damage and knocks back the enemies with 2 times strength. I don't think these were AoE, at least they weren't when I tested him in the past. It was single target. If these are AoE, it might be pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's single target. Having a passive which only triggers on a 20% chance when hit is not great. For an epic fighter, you really don't want them getting hit all that much unless they have a lot of self-sustain, which he doesn't. So I don't rate that change too much. But it could be fun. There could be some interesting stuff you can do with knockback, especially if these are AoE. If they are AoE, then it gives him some more interesting utility. You can knock people back and freeze them with Mary or something to kind of buy yourself time if you're in Gear Raid 1, for example. Anyway, so they've upgraded the basic attacks for King Haas and Isolde, both lords for the North faction, and their basic attacks will restore rage on hit. So that's interesting, especially for King Haas, because his ult is a crazy big shield, especially at Awakened 1. It seems pretty good. Doesn't seem insane, but it seems pretty good. They've optimized inspiration effect. Only the most recently applied inspiration effect will be active on a hero. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember exactly what that means. And balance the inspiration effects applied by the ultimate skills of the following 3 heroes. Grants inspiration to all allies. Inspiration. Okay, so we need to look at Nunia, Navi, and Skulf, because I don't know exactly what inspiration does. Is it a new effect? Let's go take a look. Yes, so inspiration. Increases attack proportionally to the caster's attack. While this effect is active, other buffs affecting the same attribute will not take effect. Additionally, the caster is immune to such buffs. So inspiration grants attack based on the caster's attack. So my first thought is this, have they changed Dolores? They've changed Dolores, applies 30% inspiration. Does that mean it scales on 30% of her attack? Does that change her awakenings? The inspiration effect goes to 20%, so it's 50%. So I think she gets 50% bonus. 50% of her attack goes to allies? So I had a quick peek, and it looks like people's guild boss scores are mostly the same. Maybe they've even increased a bit. So I don't think that nerfed those heroes at all. Okay, anyway, yeah, so that's it. Inspiration is their replacement for that. They've actually made it a buff that is applied more broadly rather than just Dolores, and they've given it a name. It'd be cool if they made it a bit clearer exactly how it works. I think this percentage is of your attack, how much is given to your allies. I think that's what inspiration is, and you can't stack it. So that's fine, that makes sense. And the third point is increase the effectiveness of hero's attack speed attribute while slightly reducing its impact on rage regen. So my go-to hero to check attack speed is my Falkia. I left her at 0.9 attack interval, and now it is down to 0.7 attack interval. I don't think I changed her gear. I could be wrong. I think this is the same gear I've always had on her. So yeah, they buffed attack speed. Attack speed is now slightly scaling better. I guess they made the attack, whatever the graph curve they're using, scales better. So attack speed is now a better stat, but it doesn't provide you as much rage regen as it did before. But I just noticed they've added some improvements to the UI here. If you click this information icon, it will actually show you the breakdown of where your stats are coming through to get your totals and show you your actual totals at the end. So I think that's pretty great. I like that a lot. One thing they're not showing in here is the bonuses you get from the Pantheon, I think. They show you a breakdown on some of the stats. So yeah, this is cool. It's good to see improvements to the UI. I am always a big fan of that stuff. Anyway, yeah, attack speed is better. That's good. So moving on to gear, they've added 11 mythical artifacts. I'm not going to go over all of these in this video. I'll go over those in a separate video because it will be quite lengthy, as I mentioned already. But these should be pretty cool to have. And they've increased the attack speed of amulets, so that may actually be part of the reason my Falcor is faster, because she has an attack speed amulet. So that could have changed things. So it's hard to know. Attack speed has been increased on amulets, and it should scale better, it sounds like. So moving on to others, which is pretty much the final part. They've added a sub-story level of 8 stages to chapter 7, added a friendship points system, they've added a portal to the friends feature on the left side of the camp, they've optimized a bunch of stuff with friends, they've added an attribute profile to provide explanations. Oh, we saw that one. That was good. I like that. They've added preview animations for ultimates for legendary heroes. I saw that as well. That was really nice. And they've added a feature that allows you to lock, unlock, sell, obtain gear directly from the post-stage interface, the rewards obtained. So that's nice. And you can now rate a hero more than once per day. Option to skip animation of onslaught battles and tide is good. And adjusted the availability of items in the Dwarven Association during early stages of the game. So before we move on to quests, let's have a look at some of this stuff, shall we? The French system is the main thing I want to look at. We've kind of looked at the rest of this already, the attributes we've looked at. I'm not doing a raid, so yeah, mainly we're just going to look at the friends. So I think it's this button here. So they've added a nicer screen to the friends list. There's this friendship points you can use to redeem for stamina. Okay, other than that, you can add friends as normal. You can set your assist heroes. I have Garn just for flex. You can add people to block list, though as you can see it doesn't seem to block them in all chat, which is unfortunate. So yeah, it just blocks private chat. We've been asking them to actually make it block the all chats from people, but unfortunately that's not been the case. So yeah, they've just tidied up the friend screen a bit. They've moved it out from here, so you can't access it from this menu anymore. You have to click over here. But that's fine, I guess. It's not a big deal, it's not a massive change, but it's something. Quests. Added secret achievements which unlock rewards and details upon completion. I'd get some of those, like winning 10 arenas in a row will unlock an achievement. So there's a bunch more stuff in that screen, which is nice. It's good to have stuff. They've added 4 more achievements. Legendary Technique 1, 2, Hyperion Revival, Hyperion Awakening. I did get another achievement for reaching level 100 or something in Hyperion. And they've optimized some quests to the Hero's Path. I have a guide for the Hero's Path on my website. Mabucket.com. Just go check it out and go to the quest line storyline tab, and that should show you a table with all of the quests. A bunch of those are going to be out of date, so please, if you do use that website and you do find it helpful and you notice any of those are out of date, send me a screenshot of what you see instead, and then I'll update the website. When I restart on global in 2 weeks time, I will be updating that entire section of the storyline table on my website, so it should be more useful for you guys. And fourth, they've adjusted the diamond reward for daily quests and weekly quests available before the campaign chapter 7 is cleared. Finally, for designs, they've optimized the guild interface, they've optimized the guild boss chest interface, and they've optimized the battle environments of certain stages in Gear Raid 3. I haven't checked out Gear Raid 3 yet. Guild boss's chest is just a different chest, it's got wings on it now, so that's a big deal, right? And as for the guild interface, this all kind of looks the same to me. Nothing particularly new stands out to me there. So that covers it for this update announcement. Overall, a pretty good patch. Not a lot of content to it, but they've added quite a few artifacts, which I'll go over in a separate video. They've added new stuff to the Void Rift, which I unfortunately couldn't see in this video, but I will make a new video whenever I get to those new stages. And they've made a bunch of adjustments and tweaks to things, which is good to see. Cyclone finally in a faction, for example. It's cool they're gradually making changes. There's some really good UI improvements in this update as well. So overall, pretty good, but a fairly small update. Hopefully we get another big update soon with some more content. There is this new Spectral Rift in Chapter 7 for people to enjoy. Make sure you do that for some extra summons this weekend, as you do tend to get a fair few summons out of doing this. Anyway, yeah, that caps the video off. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck with your summons this weekend. Have a lovely one. Take care, and bye-bye.